boxing runs on my mother's side. Everybody, my grandfather and his brothers were all boxers. And I remember my first lesson with my grandfather. I was about 6, 7. Take your right hand, put it on this side of your face, and then cover your shoulder. Use your shoulder to cover the other side of your chin. That way, you can't hit you on this side, and you can't get hit on this side. Take your right hand and hug your front of your stomach. That way, you can't get hit in the body. And say goodbye to your nose. Put my younger brother in it because I couldn't afford to pay for all of us, my other 2 brothers. So I put him in it first, and I watched him in class. And then he'd come home, we go on the side of the house. I says, all right, show me what you learned. He goes, I can't remember. I go, man, I'm not wasting this money out for you not to remember. So I go back to him. I sit there and make him pay attention in class. So then when he did learn something, then we went back to the house, side of the house, and then he showed me what he learned. So my little brother was actually my first karate teacher. But then later on, there was a 1-inch ad in the newspaper, and my mom she found it. She goes, Frankie, look at this. She goes, it says karate instructors needed. I said, let me see that. So I'm looking at it, and sure enough, it said karate instructors needed. No experience necessary. Earn up to $700 a month. And I was like, dang, that's $700. Man, that was a lot of money then. So I went to go see it, and it was Ed Parker.
Frank was a young man when he met Mr. Parker. And Mr. Parker opened up the school to Frank. Live here. It's okay. You know, you got a bed, you got a couch, you got a shower, you got a place to sleep, you got a roof over your head. You know, as karate players, that embeds the rest of your life. That person then becomes your dad, so to speak. So the bond was extremely tight.
I used to introduce him that way. He goes, you know, I used to go around and say, like at demonstrations, you know what? Everybody in the martial arts is a big family. And since Ed Parker is the father of American karate, I want to introduce you to my dad, Ed Parker.
Frank Trejo.
Frank Trejo is crazy.
Spar with Frank?
Yeah.
God, no.
He was a crazy dude, but he was a cool dude. He was a good motivator. He'd been around Mr. Parker for a long time, and I like his attitude when it comes to the theory of fighting. I like his attitude when it comes to competition, period, because, you know, he was a guy who was a team guy, and he didn't believe just in himself. He believed in, if we're going to do something, we all got to do it together.
Frank got his black belt in 1975, so from about 1975 to 77, 78, right in that time, he was one of the only guys out there still wearing that crest. And every time he'd win, and a championship, he'd hold that trophy and point to that crest, so they all see who's winning this thing. Frank was probably one of the best tournament fighters ever.
Which means the guy in red doesn't want him to take the gloves off.
He is one of the first black belts of Mr. Parker that has been with him forever, from the time he was a teenager all the way up until the time that Master Parker passed away. If any man knows the system, that's the man that knows the system.
Because I knew what I wanted to be when I was in the third grade, and I wanted to be a coach. So from that day on, because of my coach, because he's such a cool dude, I want to be like him when I grow up. Keep this elbow tucked in. Keep your right hand right here, just like this. And when you throw your jab, make sure it goes straight ahead and come right back. Don't let it drop.
Love, love, love Frank Trejo. He is a great sensei, and not just because he knows Kenpo as well as he does, not just because he knows boxing as well as he does, not just because he was probably one of the first people that, did some MMA with Gene Lubell. I mean, he had an amazing history, but he's encouraging. He makes everyone believe that this is something that they can do and be good at it, and they can.
As far as my lifetime work, this is all I've ever done my whole life. Been about almost 40 years now. Come to you with only karate, my empty hands. I have no weapons. But should I be forced to defend myself, my principles are my honor. Should it be a matter of life or death, of right or wrong, then here are my weapons. Karate, my empty hands.